What a great way to welcome you to this presentation of the KMTV Morning Show on today, Wednesday, the 25th of August 2021. I'm humbled to be here. There are lots of things happening that we need to talk about, but trust me, we won't be always talking politics. We'll talk other issues of national concerns and other issues that has to do with young people involvement. We will also be talking issues surrounding health-related matters. On tomorrow, we'll be paying host to Dr. Mosoko Fala. But this morning, on to this presentation, we have as our guest an entrepreneur, a public and motivational speaker, in Mr. Bango Satamba. He's a Liberian, hailed from Agibi, once served the Booker Washington Institute, and he's right now a resident of Minnesota in the United States of America. He will be our guest this morning, and we'll be talking issues surrounding entrepreneurship and civility, cultural civility for all. We'll be talking other young people related issues as he joined us this morning on the platform. I'm humbled to be here. I'm overexcited. You know, words, like the book people can say, words are inadequate to express how humble and grateful I am this morning for too many things, right? Once we want to guess, those who have followed my Facebook post, is because today we are celebrating our CEO birthday in presence of CEO Randolph P. Jackson, a down-to-earth leader, a leader who is always willing to listen. He's amazing, inspiring. He's just, you know, not just ordinary Liberian leader, but a God-sent leader. He's celebrating his birthday today. There you see him. He's our CEO, and I'm humbled to say happy birthday to you, the Honorable CEO Randolph P. Jackson. As you celebrate today, your birthday, may it comes with opportunity, success, love in your family, and open doors of opportunities for you and your entire family. I'm wishing you success in your endeavor. Lots of things to talk about. Honorable, or he would say I should not call you honorable, but Mr. Banko Satamba will join us very shortly as we talk issues surrounding entrepreneurship, cultural civility, and other young related issues about the war. You know, he's an ambassador of civility, and he will join us this morning. My name is Amos Thomas Momo, and I'm your host. I'll always be here bringing you those issues as they unfold, and abreasting you with the day-to-day happenings in Liberia. For those of you who are out of Liberia and wanting to know exactly those things that are happening back to your country, the good ones, we talk about it. We manage to talk the bad ones, because if we deeply discuss the bad one, once we say, well, it's going to be a good thing that we discuss it, but we discuss it in between ourselves, because we don't want it pointing out too bad out there for our country. But we talk those ones that are not proving worth for the country, and we manage to derive strategies that our leaders can listen to and see how best they can move on the path for growth and development coming to the country. Honorable Bango Satamba. You know, I used to calling people honorable because I always talking with honorable. But Mr. Bango Satamba is our guest this morning, a resident of Minnesota. He hails from Liberia. He once served the Booker Washington Institute there in Kakata, Magibi County. He's our guest this morning. I want to say thanks so much for accepting our invite, and welcome. How are you?
Thanks so much, Amos. Glad to be here, and good morning, Liberia, and good morning, everyone. Truly grateful for the opportunity, to connect back home and just have this kind of fruitful discussion, especially involving youth.
Okay.
And as you said, I'm not kind of an honorable person. I just love to be called Branco, but thanks for all you guys do. We're blessed for having you guys back there.
All right. Today's my CEO birthday, so I will allow you to tell my CEO happy birthday quickly.
Wow, this is so great. Well, CEO, I say thanks for all you do, and I'm very glad that you have this going on. This is just a testament to some of the great work that you guys are doing, reaching out. So, as you celebrate this day along with family, we wish you all the best. Just always know that the legacy and dreams will keep living on as you impact people's life both nationally and internationally. Enjoy your
Great to have.
birthday.
Thank you so much. Great to have you this morning. We'll begin with you telling us a little bit about yourself quickly.
Well, my name is Brian Kotama. I actually was born in Tottenham, and then I school-wise had to relocate to BWI, where I graduated from. Served there as student leader, even in the Lumina Association. I was the president, the vice president for the administration there, and a lot of memories. And I just love Magibi and love the people of Magibi. They were very kind to me, and I also consider that to be one of my homes. So work with the UN there and United Nations and serve the people of Magibi, and was also part of the peacemaking process there. So yeah, that's been. I'm right now in the United States, wherein I have my own construction business that I run here,
Okay.
and I just believe in letting young people know that every dream is possible. So keep dreaming, keep believing in yourself, and then keep working hard. All those dreams can come true.
It is very good to talk about entrepreneurship, most especially those one that has to do with the involvement of young people. But of reason, in August, I think it was in this August 6th, you were featured in the Alliance Raising Star. Tell us a little bit. What was that about?
So basically, this organization is called I Change Nation. So I Change Nation is an organization that works towards impacting and making a difference, building up people capacity in a way that they can make a useful difference in their country. So I was appointed as one of the global ambassador, and I'm also being one of the co-author for the book that will be coming up.
Okay.
And next month we'll have the launch of that book. I'm one of the co-author, and story will be played out there. But all of this just to let you know, the opportunity, immense opportunity that are out there when we focus our mind and connect with the right people and right organization.
All right. Great to have our brother, when we say our father there in the United States and coming our flying colors. Now let's begin with entrepreneurship. On the overall, when one heard about the word entrepreneurship, what is it all talking about?
So generally, from a little concept point, entrepreneurship is just the ability to be able to develop, organize, and run a business or the enterprises. The difference between entrepreneurship and other organizations is that it brings about creativity, hard work, and trying to build up a legacy that can impact people for generations to come.
All right. How can one get involved in being an entrepreneur?
Generally, I would say I would tell people, coming from the African perspective, it's interesting that we start this thing on a low scale, knowing that, like, I came up from a very poor family wherein my mom used to go into the woods, get some fruits, bring it in the time, and start to sell. I mean, that form of trading, is a basic for, exploring opportunity that lead you to becoming an entrepreneur. It's just that when you become an entrepreneur, you become more focused on ways you can use the same product or goods and services to transform that into a way that can be more creative and develop something that will make an impact. As I said, we all might have sold some goods and services down the road coming out from our childhood. So it's a basic to see that you can be able to trade through local products and local things. I learned that through my mom because we used to do that and started coming up. But little did I know that, those skills could also be useful to me today, even as I go into the issue of establishing a business in the United States. Again, just to let you know, most of my construction background came also from BWI, where I graduated from, and also working with the UN help, expand my knowledge to be able to acquire other skills. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how can one develop a suitable environment, for being an entrepreneur? What are those characteristics one needs to be an entrepreneur?
Well, basically, I always believe that, having the ability to take risks, being innovative, visionary, and having a leadership quality, open-minded, flexible, and know the product you have. I said know the product is like everybody has a distinct characteristic that might tie to something they are passionate about. For instance, I would not do well when I find myself, trying to market a product, like music. I mean, I sing in the church down the road, but I'm not a typical musician. You know what I'm saying? I came up having knowledge and background into the field of construction. And I do believe I do well into that area. And once you know your territory, you know the product you have, take advantage of that, find ways that you can learn the best, and then always try to be the best at what you do is the key, and just love it. When you do something, you can wake up 3 a.m. in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning, and start to do that thing. Know that it's something worth trying, and it could be a calling.
Okay. What about this entrepreneurship that have you more encouraged as a young man, forgetting about, with all of your achievement, forgetting about all of the other activities, one that has to do with politics, one that has to do with other ways that young people can earn money, but you focus on being an entrepreneur? What really encourage you for being or for taking such bold steps?
I think one of the things for me, I always believe, in order to make a greater impact, I have to be able to have the necessary resources to be able to help, foster the interest of my passion and some of the things I want to do. Many times, young people, and sometimes we miss the mark to understand there are habits and passion that we got that are still different from our career. But most times, it is important to find your career, and then that career can help you fund your habits and other, activities that you love to do. Say, for instance, I love nonprofit. I mean, I'm a philanthropic. I'm involved with a lot of charity work around the world, and I have gained recognition for some of those things, even with some assistance in Liberia and other places. But in order to get there, to do some other thing I'm doing, my business here, construction business, help raise, funds for me. Because most time when it comes to 5 to 10% of profit coming from individual projects, I use 5 to 10% as a way of giving back by making donation into scholarship, into other people, orphans, helping friends. So I always tell people, it is good to find your career and never miss, match your career with your passion or your habits. And once you find that, you can still be able to function at your best. And God have given us our full potential to not just do one thing. There are a lot of things we can do. But it's also important to know exactly what am I good at, what can I do now, how can I do. For me, I believe in generational impact and legacy building. It's what my passion is about. I always tell people, when I leave the world, I want to be remembered for how much impact I've made into people's life, young people, women and children, other than how much I have. So it's just what I'm at, and I'm hoping, that youth can be able to, at an age, know the importance of their potential and know that it's not all about politics. It's not all about, getting involved into other things. In fact, just kind of being saver into what we do. Today, when you look at social media with some of the commentary and posts and things from people, sometimes you're wondering, where are the young people headed? Because today, everything that you put out there will come to accountability at some point of time. But if we start using those strength, energy, and resources, to do something much more creative and positive, you could be making a difference in somebody's life right in Liberia, And this is where I come in and feel like I want to work with young people. I want to work with an organization that is focused towards making a difference, making an impact, and also just building up a legacy.
Can anyone become an entrepreneur despite your field of study? What are you, account? Let's say you did political science like the politicians, you did construction like you did accounting, economics. Can just anyone? What are you didn't even go to school? Can you be an entrepreneur?
Well, I can tell you that today, when you look at some, some of the most successful people you find today, some have not even graduated from high school.
Okay.
I think just having the drive and passion, you know what I'm saying, to do what you love and to dream and have that inspiration to make a difference, is so much more important. I can tell you, you can have all of the credential and thing, but if you don't have that passion and drive that wake you up to say, I want to do this, and have that consistency in doing that, it will just be a nothing. So it first have to come from within. All the issue of credential and other things fall into being. I've seen a lot of people here, I've helped a lot of people here, set up other businesses in this country. They don't have degree, they just have the passion, they have the goal, they have the vision, they have the love to do something. And it is that love and vision that I've really see in them that help me work along with them to help them make that a dream, a success. I tell somebody, you can be literally a middle school student, you have a business, you have a doctorate degree working for you. That have ILS, because you can set up a system that allow you to hire the best of the best. Today, I hire all of the best you find in the field of construction when I'm dealing with them, and they provide the services that I need. And today, that help keep my customer a happy customer. But the field of construction is something I started back in Liberia, but I tell you what, I always had the passion to do great. I always have the passion to be the best of what I do. Even when I came into this country, there was some that was saying, oh, you left the UN job, you left this, now you're going to be involved, what are you going to do out there? You're going to be pushing boxes, But when I came in this country, I told people, if I got to stay here, there are two things. I either own a business here, work for myself, or go back to UN. Or the third thing is get back to Liberia. Because I always believe there are a lot of opportunity here, and when you open your mind and willing to make the necessary sacrifices, you can still make the dream possible.
Okay. He's Mr. Bango Satama. He's our guest this morning, a Liberian based in the United States, the state of Minnesota. And we're talking issues surrounding entrepreneurship. And later on, we'll be talking about cultural civility and other issues surrounding young people this morning on the show. My name is Amos Thomas Momo. Thanks so much, you guys, for joining us. We have Jepo Murray. It's a good morning. Jordan Brown is a good afternoon from my end. I'm joining you live from Dubai City, United Arab Emirates. He joined us this morning. Couples of you that have joined us, I want to say good morning and thanks so much for joining us as we go about talking young people and related issues this morning on the show. When you first started, I know there were some challenges on getting, starting being an entrepreneur. Tell us, share a little bit of story when you first started. How was it like?
Well, I will tell you, I wasn't always a kind of a person that thought about, doing business. And I must give credit to my dad, who, graduated from BWI, but never had the opportunity to go to college. And then when they had me, he had a vision about the business doing Tama and Son construction.
Okay.
So what happened, since I was 5, I remember he always telling me, I really wanted to do this thing as a business. But I never had a chance to, establish this company. When you ever get a chance, I want you to do this business, establish it, because it will have family, it will have friends. And I never even knew what he was talking about. But when I began to grow up and finally I started working with the UN in 2012, I started in 2003 as a contractor. And finally in 2012, I was fully employed, wherein I have territory within my control. It was when I established the business in Liberia, and then just tell him, okay, this is your wish. Now, yeah, he said, go and run with it. He said, no, you hear the name, Tama and Son, so you have to be involved. But then when we start being involved, I also provide services to Firestone Liberia. We build a lot of houses there, a lot of houses for Firestone, even BWI, other resident and other thing. Even when you look at the police station today, there's a logo or seal that was right in front of the police station. It was through one Chechesco at the time that were in school. In fact, when we even built that thing. So I started this thing, it was through him. But then when I realized that we had the means to be able to create employment, help other people, friends, but also contribute towards the economy, it was something that really drove me to a point like, oh, how can my dad, who have not had the educational knowledge, as we would say back then, but yet had the vision and dream to establish something that can go for generation, you know what I'm saying? And make a difference. So it was from there I grasped, his vision and started running with it. And since then, when I moved to the US, I also taught the wise to give him credit by just establishing the same business. And I can tell you, to see that you can make a difference in people's life, contribute toward the economy, help with employment, and support other people and give to your favorite charity as you can, these are all things that really drive me and keep me alive every time to keep going.
Okay. Do you think in times to come you believe in being an entrepreneur and getting into something else? Or you be in it forever?
Yes. Well, I will tell you, it will always be there. They always say, once an entrepreneur, you're always once a soldier, always a soldier. So, as I said, I'm not diversifying my business in that I'm helping other people achieve this dream. And I do believe when you are blessed, when God bless you, get to your level, try to inspire and help other people. So in addition to mentorship that I provide here for college students and other individuals, even with people into the first-time home buyer or having home ownership into this country, I'm now helping people set up their own small businesses here to be able to help make that dream, a reality. I never had this opportunity. But the fact that I went through this process, I believe I don't want anybody to struggle the way I did. So that's why I'm doing all of those things. I will take a backseat sometime when my kids grow up and start making impact into the business. And I want to be involved more into charity, legacy building, making a difference in people's life. It's what I love to do. As I said, coming from a very poor family, I believe the way to give back is to help inspire and also impact people's life that will help them grow as well.
Okay. Now, you're from Liberia. You started being, can I say a local entrepreneur back then in Liberia, some years back. And now you're in the United States doing extremely well. You have your own company running or businesses running, and you are doing extremely well there. What are some of your impact back to young people that they can hope on and develop the same admiration, develop the same skills, the same mindset like Mr. Tama is doing?
I always say, I was in Liberia when the issue of this mindset came about, the issue of dreaming to become, I remember one time on BWI when I ever told somebody, chapel service, I think I'm going to be, I had a dream. I saw myself in America, and I think I was doing pretty well. I might have had a business. I mean, people started laughing at me. They're like, oh, what is this guy talking about? In fact, where did you eat from the dining hall, Never did they understood that, dreams do come true. But today, there are some who don't understand that, wow, I can't believe, he had this dream, he had this vision. So what I would encourage young people, you got to keep dreaming. You got to keep believing in yourself. And you got to keep working hard toward those things that you really love. This is why my message to young people, I understand people want to be involved into politics. I get it. But at this point in your life, you got to figure out, what can I do that can make a difference into the world and contribute? Youth are very important into our society. What can I do to contribute towards the growth and development of other people? Contribute towards the economy, and also just preparing yourself to be able to take the leadership role. I always tell people, you don't want to get into leadership before you start doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when I always tell people politics is not my thing, I just love business. I just love to do that. I mean, there's so many impact I can do, because when you start getting into the realm of politics, you start doing a whole lot of stuff. You tend to lose the sense of who you really are. As I said, I still have passion for things that I do, and I still care about people that have gone through the same struggle my parents went through. That's why I'm getting involved and trying to encourage you. You have life is ahead of you. There's nothing wrong with being a 12-year-old and becoming an entrepreneur. There's
Okay.
nothing wrong being a 15-year-old or 20-year-old. And when you look around the world today, you have people becoming even at that age, 12, 15, 20, a youth, you know what I'm saying? Owning multiple businesses. Why in Liberia, we can start molding our mindset when we can start doing that. But one of the issues also that I found out with Liberia, there are sometimes one person you have the vision or the dream, but sometimes you can't be that kind of person that would do that. That's why you got to collaborate with other people. Young people have to come together, work together, and see what they can do, and benefit one another.
But with what you've been observing when you were here in Liberia and even there in the United States, I think you know, on a daily basis follow happenings on Facebook and telephone call back to your country. Do you think we as young people of this country are ready to follow the same trend like other young people are following in other countries, involving themselves in entrepreneurship with the mindset of being an entrepreneur?
Sure, I think it's possible. I can tell you, Liberians are very smart people. The young people of Liberia are very smart. I tell you that. Say, for instance, I was once a young person came up with that same vision. It's just the issue of finding yourself, finding your true purpose. And when I said, when you really know who you are, know what you want, and know how to get it, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing that can stop you, because identity crisis can be a major thing. You find that when people don't know who they are, they don't know their value, they don't know their worth, they tend to get involved into things that will not benefit them, that will not do anything for them. So it's important that youth tend to recognize how important they are, not just looking at politics and other leadership role. There's so much more potential that you have as a youth. And that's why for me, my message now to young people, I understand you might have the drive for politics, you might have this or this. Why if you just take a back seat a little bit and see what can I do right now that can be able to make a big impact into the country? There's nothing wrong with young people setting up businesses, collaborating, and employing other young people into that country. I understand government have responsibility to do some other thing. I get that. But one thing I learned from a friend who is a general now in the Nigerian army, he always tell me, we don't depend on government here in Nigeria. It's like if you want to succeed, you got to put your foot down, you got to work for what you want and do it. So sometimes you got to behave like you don't even know why government exists, because when you want to succeed, sometimes there are people you got to shut down. There are people you got to just close the door on and keep you focused. And this is why I'm trying to tell people, look, get a mindset we're in. From high school, from elementary, you can start thinking about creating something, other than destroying. So when you start thinking about how can I create this thing, how can I do this, being best, take for instance what you do, striving to be the best at what you do, you know what I'm saying? Striving to have, ethics into what you do is so much more important. Every responsibility or role that we play into society is so much more important. We can either break, we can either build, or we can either destroy. So it's your choice. You can choose how to use those, gifts and talents and skills that you have that can make great impact in the society. And for me, I choose to build and not to destroy.
All right. He chooses to build and not to destroy. Now let's look at government own part they have to play. Do government have any role in, having government own role in making the country a country that young people will develop the mindset of being an entrepreneur? What should be the role of government?
Yes. Every government in every nation has a social responsibility.
Okay.
And more to that, you have a responsibility of people to create the enabling environment that will help productivity, creativity, innovation. And I think for Liberia as a whole, if government can also start focusing on programs that can really help inspire, but also build young people into this kind of sector, I'm telling you, there are a lot of ways we can put young people to work. There are a lot of ways we can bring about, putting young people into some other area that can help them. And I don't just want it to be focused on politics. For me, when I see that, and I'm willing here, as I said, to be part of whatever solution that can help, because it's what I'm passionate about. Work along with young people and youth organizations to see what we can do. I sure have come in Liberia with a delegation. I was coming with 8-person delegation in 2020 when the pandemic hit. Our goal was to be able to tour Liberia through an organization called the Institute of Leadership and Mentorship.
Okay.
We're going to tour Liberia, assess the youth, have some meeting with some youth, see what we can do that can be youth focused, but also help build capacity of people to find their own purpose. And this is what I'm at today. I'm hoping that people can reach out. I want to help people find their purpose in life, because when you find your purpose, you get rid of identity crisis. You can be the best you.
All right. Mr. Bango Satamba is our guest this morning. He's from Liberia. He's a Liberian and based in the United States, the state of Minnesota. He's our guest, and we're talking issues surrounding entrepreneurship and cultural civility. We're going to take a short break with the birthday song from the president of Liberia, and that song is dedicated to the CEO, Mr. Randolph P. Jackson, as he celebrates his birthday today. We want to say happy birthday. When we come back, we dive into cultural civility, and then we call it a day to have Dr. Mosoko Fala for tomorrow. Until then, a short break will bring us back. Welcome back. Let's just say happy birthday again to the CEO. Wish you thousands of birthdays to come as you celebrate today, and we're also wishing you success in your endeavor. You are actually a God-fearing leader. You are not just an ordinary Liberian CEO. When I talk about Liberian CEO, you know what I mean. Though boastful and muscular people that will put their arms up, but you're always willing to listen to people around you and willing to give opportunities to young people. Managing to have young people having food on their tables is something that we need to actually salute for this morning as you celebrate your birthday. Mr. Bango, welcome back, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much, Amos. I'm very glad to be here. And just once again, happy birthday to the CEO. And thanks to you all for what you do. And I'm very proud of you guys.
All right. How is it going?
It's going good here. And it's going good here. It's kind of like 6:01 in the morning here, AM. And glad to be in Liberia where my heart is and just connecting with you guys this morning.
Let's look at cultural civility. You are an ambassador. When we talk about cultural civility, what are we talking about? Is it working now? What are those challenges you think Liberia are faced with in forgetting about their own culture and getting into something different? Like we normally say, we are in the 21st century.
Well, as a global civility ambassador, what I would say, civility, when you look at it, almost like do unto others, as you want them to do unto you. So, which means that you can differ or disagree, but still be civil about it, So there's nothing wrong with having disagreement. And I always tell people, we might be grateful to God that He created us all in a different ways, make us to like different things. I wouldn't want to live in a world wherein everything is just the same, everybody thinking the same way. Trust me, I wouldn't want to live in that kind of world. But when we can take a look at these differences, embrace them, and then find a way that we can collaborate and work together, it will be a great thing, And this is where our Change Nation comes in, going around the world, trying to serve as a bridge, that connect people to people, rather than people using people to get things. And with the kind of a global economy we find ourselves in, it is easy for people to take advantage of people just to get things. And we all know this is not how the world was. This is not how we were. Liberians are best known for their kindness, their good gesture, and just that over welcoming, heart to strangers, to people. But I understand that having gone through civil war and things, it have left a lot of scar in our hearts, in our minds, in our community. But I'm just making a call that we can come from out of there, be the Liberian that we all knew or that we all know, to be there for one another, help and support one another, and just try to tolerate one another and not destroy one another in the name of politics.
Okay.
And not destroy one another in the name of leadership. Because I tell you, we are all created by God. We are all one people. And if we can see the differences that we have, but then find the common ground that we can work with, that would be a great thing. And this is why for me, when I see on social media, I see young people even getting involved with some graphic videos of things that will not even portray, our own existence. I just believe that we have to start rethinking our future, Little do people know that the social media is there, the website is there, but all those things are accessible to the creator in several content, one way or the other. And it's just a matter of time that when you have a replay of some of those things you've done, you will not want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can start molding our mind way in, we can be civil with one another into what we do. We can carry on that love that we want to have for one another. Let us not start using people, to be able to get things, but rather let us, be a bridge that connect people to people.
Okay.
And this is why civility is all about.
Do you see it working in present day life?
Well, generally, other parts of the world is working. The Institute of Leadership and Mentorship, along with I Change Nation, in several other countries, they are working along with Youth Parliament, and we will be, as a global ambassador now, there will be a couple of tours when the pandemic go down. We'll be taking a lot of tours into different countries. But as I said, Liberia is on my mind. Liberia is on my heart. Like whenever I see something good, there's no better place I think of having that place than Liberia.
Okay.
So even with all the things we do here into different countries, into various states, I have a delegation I'm hoping I can bring to Liberia to see if we can come up with some kind of a youth summit and see what we can do to be able to help, impact, youth life, build the capacity, and just try to help mold the mind, create the necessary environment that they can be able to find their true purpose. It's happening, and I wouldn't just give up on Liberia yet. I just believe we are too smart. We are brilliant people. If we can take advantage of the skills, and you can tell, for instance, in Liberia, when the United Nations came in there, other countries, they have to take years of training to be able to have people to work for the UN. They can literally grab a Liberian off the street when they came in Liberia, just tell them what to do, and they start doing it. So that's how smart Liberian is. The United Nations never spent fortune to be able to train people to get into the workforce of the United Nations. Liberia, one of the very few countries that didn't happen. So that speaks volume. It tells you that we have skills and quality necessary to be able to impact not just Liberia, but the whole world. So why can't we look at those things? It's so sad that other people see those things in us more than we find it in ourselves. And this is where I come in, like, okay, I got to start reminding young people. I mean, I understand politics is there, almost like the only thing that everybody wants to be involved with. But what if you start focusing on your own self, focusing on your purpose, focusing on your own generational, promise and values? Because every one of us come through a generation, and there's a divine purpose that God has given us. If we can align our personal vision with our generational promise, I'm telling you, there are a lot of great things we can do. I did that with me, like my dad. My dad, when I started the issue of construction, he never had the means of taking it to that level. But I can tell you, when I bought into that and started doing that, there are a lot of things happening for me today. At the same time, while the construction business is going on, sometimes people don't even understand to know that, oh, this guy is an engineer, he's a general contractor, he does this. Because I have the ability to be able to switch in multiple personality. Okay. At some point, I'm a public speaker. At some point, I'm a mentor. At some point, I'm out there ambassador. At some point, I'm on the field doing actual construction work. And that's why I want to help Liberian, get to that point, young people here.
What are some of the challenges you think one could face in achieving this civility, or a country can face in achieving civility in a particular country?
Well, this has
We
to
should
be
not just be
addressed.
on Liberia always. Let's talk
Right,
about,
right, right.
yeah.
Yeah. So there are other parts of the world that have challenges. So there's not Liberia. I tell people, you never know how bad thing is until you go out. When you see something that, I gotta go home.
Yeah.
So other countries have issues, but I always say, when you have a home where your heart is, when you see the best thing, you want it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You want it for your people. So this is where my heart is. I've seen by the good, the worst, and the ugly, but I'm more focused on the good that I've seen and telling to myself, how can this be done in Liberia? And this is what I'm working towards. I'm working with somebody. We're trying to come up with some citizen organization that we want to make sure that we'll be focusing on people, encouraging people more on the skill side, learning skills that are useful,
Okay.
and stuff like that. I will let you know pretty soon. Those are things I'm working on, because making sure that some of the construction skills and knowledge that I have here, I can find a way to be able to give it back there by providing some training, but also helping young people, and not everybody can go into business world. Not everybody can go into becoming or do what you do. We all have to start finding our purpose in ways in which we can make meaningful contribution to the country, you know. And I tell people, when youth can find their own purpose and start doing stuff, tell me, people will find you. People will come after you, because there are people around the world who are so much more interested into making a difference and impact. But more importantly, leaving a legacy. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So this is what I'm at. Yeah.
Thank you so much this morning for waking up very early, joining us here in Liberia, educating us on some of those things that are necessary for us as young people. And we're hoping that young people can get glued to this. These are some of the events and shows that young people need to focus on, because it is career driven, it is developmental driven. It create the environment that you be the boss of your own. It create the environment that you will not always be at the doors of politicians asking them for
Right.
a little or dime, but you will be able to make things work out and try to also stretch hands to others who think they cannot afford. I'm humbled to have you. It just anything you wanted to talk about that we didn't ask you.
Well, I just want to say also, firstly, thanks for the opportunity, and I just, bless God for Mama Liberia and our country there. We all hope for the best, and I just pray that God help, the government and whoever government will come succeed, and I will also put on the necessary, mechanism that will help, mold the minds of people, create the enabling environment that will help people strive towards that. And it's just a great thing. I tell people, when you focus more into building yourself up, even the politicians can come to you for support. So that's just what I do here. We have people come for donation, they need this and need that. They got to look up to us to be able to do that. And I just love being that. You want to be in the point of influence wherein you can control your own destiny. And when you do that, it's a great thing. And I just thank you again, as I said, those in Kakata, Thought Member, Morovia, BWI. I just want all the youth listening right now to just keep believing in yourself, find your true purpose, and just keep doing what you do best.
Thank you so much. Ambassador Bango Satama is a Liberian based in the United States, the States of Minnesota, an entrepreneur, a motivational speaker, and an ambassador. Was our guest this morning, and we'll talk issues surrounding entrepreneurship and cultural civility. I am humbled this morning to be here, and also celebrating on the show our CEO birthday, the CEO Randolph P. Jackson, as he celebrated his birthday today. Tomorrow we'll be here with Dr. Mosoka P. Fala. He'll be our guest on tomorrow. We'll be talking issues surrounding health related, taking into consideration. Many of us now are forgetting about the measures, preventive measures you need to follow when it comes to preventing yourself from COVID-19. And we'll be talking about the vaccine. You know, according to him, there are new supplies of vaccine, and you cannot. But he will tell us tomorrow in depth. I don't want to act like a doctor here. But the ambassador, Bango Satama, was our guest, and I'm humbled. Thanks so much to all of you for following us. Jipo Morris, Jordan from Dubai, Ruben from Gardnersville, Ransford Brown of our stars here. He follows from King Gray, and my own mom there, Mom Stella Herring, say an ambassador. Thank you so much, Mom, for always being there on my back. I am humbled to have all of you joining us this morning. Until tomorrow, be here with Dr. Mosokapi Fala and building your pleasant rest of the Wednesday from Liberia. My name is Amos Thomas Momo. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
It's a birthday. We're gonna ramp up, jump around and have a good time. Joe, Rastafari. Hear me now? Yeah, just me a celebrate now. They funny man. Gonna ramp up. It's a birthday time. Fever! Joe, Rastafari. Yeah, man. We gonna celebrate.
Happy birthday to you.
We gonna have a good time.
Happy birthday to you, dear.
We gonna party.
Happy birthday.